So hello and welcome back to Coins and Banknotes, everybody. My name is Glenn. This channel is called Good Matties Coins and Banknotes, and today we are talking not about these coins, because I've done quite a few videos of the coins of South Vietnam, but these are the last coins pretty much in circulation. The earlier ones, like the nickel plated steel and the copper nickel 1 dong, would still be in circulation, as well as the copper nickel and nickel plated steel 10 dong, which is the larger version. Do I have? Yes, I have one. So that's the earlier version. Would have still been in circulation, but in 1968 the exchange rate was about 100 dong because $1, so roughly times that by 10. So this would have been roughly equivalent to $1 today. That's including inflation. That's just a rough estimate because, you know, inflation rates in the United States, Australia and Vietnam are different. There's also the purchasing power of what your currency can purchase. So like $1 in Australia can purchase a lot less than $1 in Vietnam, even today. Okay, so South Vietnam lost the war in 1975. So the last coin issued was this one, which is a 1974. It's a brass plated steel, and there were plans to issue a 50 dong 1975, but apparently most of those were melted or destroyed, or probably never even delivered, or they probably would never even paid for because the government lost power. North Vietnamese definitely wouldn't have taken on those debts. So all debts of South Vietnam would have been pretty much erased. Okay, so there was a revaluation. So the coins were still legal tender because of the lack of small change, but the exchange rate was 1 new liberation dong equals 500 South Vietnamese dong. So, and the only coins that issued for the South Vietnamese were these ones. So here we have the 5 Tzu, and that would have been equivalent to 25 dong. So this 20 dong here would have been equivalent to 4 Tzu. We have the 1 Tzu equivalent to 5 dong, and the 2 Tzu equivalent to 10 dong. So that's the exchange rate. And as you can see, the coins are quite different, and the images depicted on them are probably from Vietnamese mythological history. Basically, it looks like it's got a phoenix up there. This one has flames, so it has more to do with Vietnamese culture. So, and on the back of these coins, we have 41 and 2. We have the denomination in writing as well as the name, but they're not. 2 Tzu is the only one dated 1975. Now Kraus dates these two as 1976, but I don't see why they're not 1975. They probably just made that up, or probably got some resources, but they haven't put references in what references they got the information from. So as for specifications, this one is 1 gram, 1.1 gram and 1.5 grams. So there is no difference in the weight compared to the denomination. The dimensions: 19mm, 21mm and 23mm for the largest coin. And also there is a thickness, which I'm getting the information now, so the 2 is 1.5, this one's 1.6, so I reckon that the 1 Tzu, so if that's 1.5, the 1 Tzu is probably about 1.3, I would say. It's not really that thick, or maybe even 1.4 millimeters. Anyway, and they're all aluminium, and as far as I know, we are not too sure where these are minted, but some references put Vietnam minted in Berlin, like the North Vietnamese coins are apparently minted in Berlin. But these 1 and the 5 are a little bit cruder, so these could either be a local issue, probably even minted in China, Although Chinese coins are actually quite well minted, so I'm not too sure where the 1 and the 5 are actually minted. But the 2 tsu seems to be high quality coin. Now with the 1 tsu, there seems to be 2 varieties. One with bolder 1 and the actual lettering. And looking at Noomstar, this one seems to be the it says lighter lettering, so probably the thinner lettering. So there are 2 varieties. Now as for which one is more common, I don't know. You need to look at all the 1 tsu denominations that you can find on the internet to determine which one is more common. Okay, now the other 2 coins also have their own varieties. So the 2 tsu, the variety is on this side, so the flower pattern that you have here. So there's the thicker petals and the thinner petals. Now they're talking about this inner petal here. So you got 1, 2, 3. They're talking about the middle one. This seems to be the thicker petal, in which a thinner petal, or it does start out thick on the sides. Up here it goes to half the thickness of what these ones are. So it should, Numister also has information on that, so it should be quite easy for you to look that up. And on this side it doesn't have any varieties, although this impression here is pretty common and part of the coin. So that's with the flow of the actual coin. And this one just says Bank of Vietnam 2 tsu, and on this side we just have the denomination with the date. Now the last coin we have, the 5. This one also has their own varieties, and so the first variety has a little stroke underneath the N. It nearly connects the N and the X. And also we have differences in the flowers. So in this section here, this one seems to be 1.1 with the, it has a thick curl plant there, and also this part here is also looks like 1.1. Actually it looks like 1.2. It looks like a bit of a mixture of both actually. So that needs a little bit more research. Maybe there's more varieties of these ones. And on this side you're looking at this the ribbon. So the curl in the ribbon, there is a narrow and wide ribbon, but what you're really looking at is the join between these two. So these are separated, which would indicate a narrow ribbon. If they're joined together, will be the wide ribbon, because ribbon is just a bit wider, so it takes up that space in between. And that's looks like this is closer to the edge than on the narrow ribbon than on the wide ribbon. So it seems to be further. Anyway, so that's the 2 varieties. You can look those up on Numister. So as for the actual pricing of these coins, there are no mintage figures for these, so don't even worry about looking them up. They are a bit of an expensive coin set to collect. You're probably going to pay at least $25 per coin. So for these 3, easy $75 to $100 if you want to get one of these. But I did get one of these coins in this set. So this set, if you can get them, these cost about $100, and it's well worth your while because you also get the 1976 coins. But these have a mixture of these coins from South Vietnam as well as the coins from North Vietnam. So that's my only evidence in that in 1978, when they issued the 1976 coins, the united currency, so one coin of unified Vietnam was equivalent to 1 North Vietnamese dong, or 0.8 of a South Vietnamese dong. So one South Vietnamese dong is equivalent to 1.2 new dong. So there was a difference in the revaluation. And they didn't issue any of these two coins with United currencies. So as these coins are mixed and in the same set, I reckon that these circulated alongside each other and they were intermingled, so you can actually spend these in either North or South Vietnam, which is pretty much the same country now. So anyway, I hope this helps you with your coins from Vietnam. So if you're into Vietnamese currency, well, this coin set is a must to get. It's a specific time in Vietnamese history at the end of the Vietnam War. Also the 1958 is the other set, which pretty much, well, better quality from 1978 to 1985 when they revalued the currency. They circulated alongside the coins down below. Anyway, thank you very much. Have an awesome coin and banknote collecting time and take care.